So I've blown up 4 YouTube channels and gotten over 1 billion views by the age of 19. Now I'm 21 and I've done a few more things, but I've gotten pretty good at rapidly changing my identity, or shifting my identity, as they say. And now I'm at kind of a plateau, and so I wanted to talk about my experience identity shifting and then the problem I'm currently having. But it doesn't really matter to me at this point if like manifestation is real, because it doesn't really change what I would do. I would still do the activities, the actions that are, manifesting. And am I increasing the likelihood that, randomness happens in my order and a certain reality is more likely to happen? Or am I, defining my goals clearly, bringing them down to my level so I don't see them as something above me, and then that makes it much easier to do the actions necessary to get there? Is that what's happening, or are the frequencies aligning, or is it both? Who fucking cares? Because it doesn't matter. Well, I care because it sounds cool. But basically every single time a certain number, a certain goal doesn't feel like more than me, I achieve it really, really quickly. And so I remember this specifically. The first was with subscribers. And so I made a bunch of different subscriber goals. I think the first one, was like 10K subscribers, and then it was 30K subscribers. Once I had like 5,000 subscribers, because I was like, all right, I'm gonna hit 10K, that's easy. And now I'm starting to feel 30K. And then once I got to like 20K, I'm like, all right, yeah, I know I'm gonna hit 30K. So then I made it the goal of like 100K. And then once I got to like 50K, I was like, I'm definitely gonna hit 100K. So I'm gonna make a new goal of 300K. And it's just like, once you get to a level, like I remember looking at YouTube channels, and this one, I think with YouTube channels is the perfect example actually, because I compare myself to other YouTubers based on their amount of subscribers in terms of like status. And I started doing this when I was, 16. And so I was still stuck in like that high school compare yourself to everybody thing. And it happens automatically. It's like, I'm not in high school anymore. I try not to obsess about status, but it's still an automatic thing your brain does. And so I do think about all that hierarchy stuff still. But I remember comparing myself to other YouTube channels, and just thinking of YouTubers and like, man, I would be so nervous to meet someone with 50,000 subscribers. And to think about that now is fucking hilarious, because that's like nothing. I got that in one video. I got 250K subscribers in one video, but I mean on my other channel, my channel that has 50K subs. But every single time I would get to 50K subscribers, I would feel like, okay, now I'm cooler than this person. And I know my channel's growing way faster, so I'm actually way cooler. And I would just like compare myself to different channels. And like, then I'd look at channels, I look at channels that have 100,000 subscribers now as if they're like small, depending on the niche. So if they're, 1 million subscribers in like an entertainment niche, I'm like, that's small, unless they're doing like big things, big brand deals, and everybody knows them or whatever. But 1 million subscribers is not a lot in an entertainment niche, and it's not hard to do. With education, the reason 1 million subscribers, with shorts and everything, it changes. But if you have 1 million subscribers based on just hardcore education content, the amount of influence you actually have is so much higher. And so that's quite literally power that you have. And so you have more status because of that, in our little human non-reality brains, or, maybe our brains create reality or whatever. It doesn't matter. And as I got more and more subscribers, I would see myself as like, okay, now I'm not nervous to talk to this person. Now I'm not nervous to talk to this person. And it's not like I would be talking to those people. That's just an example of like, man, right now, if I met someone with 100 million subscribers, like that, I'd probably be nervous to talk to them because they'd be like famous, like super famous. But talking with anybody who's like a millionaire or makes you know, has a million subscribers. It's like not a big deal at all. Like I see myself as not far below that. This is a weird thing to talk about, but the purpose of this is talking about identity shifting. And so I remember constantly, every time I would like run, so I'd run like twice a day for a period of time. I would run in the morning. I'd actually carry these weights. I was watching like Liver King and stuff, so I'd carry these weights down to like a cliff. I'd walk like 1.5 miles, carry these like 20-pound dumbbells down to a cliff, then all the way back up. Some days I'd do 30s, but that was like fucked. Sometimes it'd be like pouring rain. I felt so cool. And then I'd go for a run or do some rowing and work out later in the day. And whenever I'd work out really hard, especially on runs, I would try to manifest. And so I would basically envision myself making the amount of money I wanted to make. And at a certain point, that was $10,000 a month. But I remember there's a fucking turkey right there, just standing on the fence. There's like so many fucking things here. It's weird. But I remember $10,000 a month feeling like so much money. Like, and it felt like more than me. It felt like, man, if I made that much, it would like stress me out. Like I don't know if I could handle that amount of money. It's just insane. Like I want it, but like it's insane. And then I remember eventually feeling like that amount of money was below me. And then I just had this conviction that I was going to make $10,000 a month. And at that point I was at 5 to 6K like in the past month. And so I was closer to it. And so I knew it was possible. And I was doing exactly what I needed to do to get there. And, you know, I was making good progress. And I kept proving to myself over and over again through, like, YouTube is a very rewarding process because, you know, if you make one viral video, good job. Who knows if you were lucky or not. If you make 2 viral videos, good job. Maybe you weren't lucky, but maybe you still were lucky. But if you make 600 videos and get 100,000 to 1 million views every time on long form content and average like 10 million views on short form content, like it's not luck at that point. And the conviction you have in yourself at that point is so high because you're just doing it over and over and proving to yourself again and again that you can outdo yourself. And so I just kept getting videos with more and more views. I kept getting more and more views every month. And then I would set bigger goals. And so instead of setting the goal of like, all right, I made $10,000 a month, I'm going to make 20,000 or 30,000. I immediately set a goal of 100,000 because I always tried to set goals that would scare me and that I felt like I couldn't achieve so that I could, you know, and like 20K a month is like, that's not exciting. That's just double what I was making. And so it's like, of course I can do that. I want to pick something that feels out of my range, 100K a month. And so I tried it and I launched a product and 0 people bought it. And so this was my biggest fail ever. I had been getting advice from like a very credible guy, and he helped me with the launch and he helped me with the offer and he helped me with the VSL, and I went all in and I paid for editors. I spent like $2,500 on the launch and 0 sales. So this isn't like a failed launch because I was expecting 100K a month immediately and it only got to 20K. 0 sales. 0, not one. And this thing was $200 to join and then 100 a month. 0 sales. 0. And I'm saying that over and over again to drive home the point that was like a really big failure, and my biggest failure in a long time. Besides that, I would just get like low performing YouTube videos, but then the next video I'd post would blow up. I'd figure out why it didn't work, and then, you know, I'd keep growing and growing and growing. But this was my first big failure. And then I started something else. So at this point, it was me trying to monetize my gaming channel. And I'm like, okay, I don't think I can make 100K a month through AdSense. I'm going to try to do, and sponsorships were like really annoying to like manage and message people. And so I was like, okay, I need to do my own product. And so, you know, first Skool community, I tried to launch, absolutely failed. Nobody joined. Second Skool community, I was like, okay, you know, I changed the offer around. I made it a lot cheaper. It was like $9 a month, and people started joining because it's $9 a month. And I worked on it all the time. It was always at the forefront of my mind. I didn't do that much work on it. Like, looking back, like I was not good at working at all, and I didn't promote it that much. And if I was a lot more consistent, maybe it would have worked. But it was at the forefront of my mind and took all of, you know, a fuck ton of my energy for 9 months straight. And by the end, I had spent more money than I made from it. And so I was like, okay, fuck that. And at that point, I had been, failing to make 100K a month for over a year. I thought I was going to make it all of a sudden. And then I was like, okay, next month. Okay, next month. Okay, next month. Okay, next month. Because at this point, all I had done was win. All I had done was set insanely big goals, like totally unreasonable goals. And then I would achieve it. Goals that felt unreasonable. And so this new 100K a month goal felt the same amount of unreasonable. But for some reason, I kept failing and failing and failing and failing and failing. And so after that, I stopped doing gaming content. I was like, okay, the guy that was helping me was like, okay, I think the problem is that you're trying to sell to 6-year-olds and like they don't really have money. So yes, you can help people get better at the game for a few bucks a month, but you're really like, these people don't like being sold to, and they don't have money, even if it was like the best offer ever. And so maybe you're just wasting your time and you're kind of trying to row upstream here when you should just use your YouTube skills and help entrepreneurs who actually have money. And so I did that. And on the first month, I collected, I'll say 30K profit like that month. And I won the school games. And so it was this huge deal for me. I was trying to manifest winning the school games. And that was like a bigger goal than hitting 100K a month. I wanted to win the school games more than I wanted to hit 100K a month. So I could go meet Alex Hormozy and Sam Ovens and have status or whatever. And I ended up winning. I won in 4th place and it was awesome. But what I sold was $999 a month, and I overpromised, and the delivery was fucked. So I was making thumbnails for people, taking calls with people, doing group calls, writing hooks for people. Like the amount of done for you, done with you, just insane amount of work that I promised, and the results I promised was insane. So a bunch of people asked for refunds. So I actually collected 57K in that month, but had to refund about 1/3 of it. And so, yeah, that sucked. And then I basically closed it down because I got so stressed and so burnt out from that. I had done more work than I ever had in that 1 month to win the school games. And I'd gotten to, 57K in 1 month. I was like, damn, that's insane. There's not 100K a month, but I got my school games goal. So that's great. Now I have that new level of achievement in my mind. Now I got to make 100K a month. And since then, it's been over a year. So June, July, August. Yeah, it's been like 14 to 15 months since I won the school games. And I have not gotten back to that amount of revenue. So recently, I made like, maybe 20K in the past month, in the past like 30-ish days. And so I'm making more money now, finally. And it's just taken like a lot of work, but 100K still feels like too much. And I hate to say that because I believe in the identity shifting thing, and I've seen it work before, and maybe I'm just not spending enough time thinking about it, or maybe I'm not spending enough time doing it. But I know the reason you're supposed to do identity shifting or whatever is because it's supposed to make it easier to do the stuff that actually gets you there. And yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. I think what I have to do is just be patient. I think my problem is like, I keep thinking, how am I going to get to 100K a month next month? Or like in the next 3 months? When really it's like, that's kind of a stupid way to go about it. And I think what I need to do is change my mindset to 100K per month doesn't matter. Maybe let's go for $1 million a year. And I could make $1 million in the next year if I deliver great results for my clients in the next 6 weeks. I've got 13 clients that have joined my cohort, and the doors are closed and nobody else is joining, and I'm only delivering to them for the next 6 weeks. That is going to be the majority of my work time. And then I'll probably just make some gaming videos on the side to make some side cash, and I might pre-sell the next thing I'm doing. And then I'm going to try to spend 80% of my time growing my audience on YouTube, 20% of my time work time, delivering, on the business side. So that'll be like some sort of offer. And by doing that, I might make less money for a while I figure out how to get consistent with YouTube and how to blow up my channel. I blew up my channel and then I stopped posting because it was like the wrong audience and I wasn't consistent. So I'm going to figure out a format I can stay consistent with and just fucking do it and hopefully stay consistent, figure out something I want to do for a long time and make that kind of congruent with my offer and then build up that MRR over time. Not MRR, just build up the money I'm making over time slowly, but just focus on building my brand and just providing as much value as possible. And then I think a year from now, it's very, very reasonable that I could launch something and immediately make $100K a month if I just focus on growing my audience and providing a fuckload of value. So yeah, that whole identity shifting thing is like, it's annoying because it seems to have worked for me and then it seems to have stopped working, but maybe I just stopped doing it. Because there was also that. I've definitely spent much less time like actively manifesting while I'm, I got more into like the technical things you have to learn for business. And now I've learned so much of that I just need to apply it. But now I can't get myself to apply it. Actually, I'm applying a lot of it. I'm doing things every day, but I feel like not as much as I could in terms of consistency. So yesterday I did like 12 hours of work, and that was great. But I wouldn't want to do that consistently. And so that I don't burn out, like I didn't work that much today, and yeah, I don't even know. I just wanted to like kind of talk about what I was thinking about because I was reading this book and then I was like, shit, I could make a video about that. Yeah, I was reading it, and then I got a thought about manifestation, but unrelated to what I was reading. So that's weird. But yeah, I think identity shifting is great and I need to do it. But I think it's that you can't lie to yourself for that long. That's what it is. I think that might be what it is. It's like, I can't be like, yo, I'm a millionaire. I'm so rich. I make $100K a month and try to like get in that mindset, but then just like be lazy. Like it doesn't work like that. Like I have to like, that's what it is. I don't believe it. It's bullshit. And so I need to actually act like I'm running a $100K a month business. And I think the hard part about that is like, maybe I have a belief that you have to work 12 hours a day to run a $100K a month business. And I know that's not true. And if I build my audience and have a good monetization system, then I could make, a good amount of money. And like, I'd be fine with 50K a month. 100K a month is just a vanity metric that I think would be fun to hit. But I'd rather, stay consistent. And so, yeah, I think it's just I need to build up consistency over time. And so I actually have conviction in my own ability to follow through and stick to my word. And instead of just like manifest 100K a month, but like not act like I'm trying to get there. Yeah, that's what it is. All right. Fuck. But then it's just like a loop because it's like, aren't you manifesting so that it becomes easier to do those actions? Or do you do those actions so that it becomes easier to manifest? I don't know. It's all like this is where Alex Hormozi would be like, dude, stop. Just throw manifestation out the window. Just do the things. I just feel like when I stop thinking about the universe as a cool thing, I just think about it as like a mechanical machine, I get bored and I feel like life is dull. And it's like, I don't want to do 1 + 1 = 2 and just be like a cog in a machine doing tasks all the time. That's why I don't like schedules and routines. But I know, you can be creative within a structure, especially that you make for yourself. Freedom doesn't mean a day of doing nothing. It doesn't mean an empty calendar. It just means doing what you want to do and having it be of your own volition. Like if I wanted to go kill all those turkeys right now, I'd be sick. Subscribe.